All right. Good morning. Welcome to my channel, The King Lee Way. And for those checking out the stream for the first time, my name is King. So, yes, I am based out of Dayton, South Korea. And I'm going to give a quick report of what's going on here in Dayton. As of right now, it is very humid, hot. And yesterday we had pouring rain where some of the parking structures underneath the apartments were flooded. So a lot of cars were floating around. So, yeah, it was a heavy rainstorm yesterday. And even the river that I live by and you can walk on, you couldn't walk because it was flooded. So if you wanted a bike ride, it was completely flooded. So, and same thing, I'm still enjoying it here. I'm still able to go to a coffee shop and eat at a restaurant. So before we get into the topic about the housing thing here in Korea, let's check out some of the comments here and let's welcome. So Mr. Ron, yep, from good old Columbus, Ohio, in Davao. So welcome, Mr. Ron. Jeffrey, once again, welcome from Clearwater, Florida. Okay, so Ron gives his regards to Mr. Jeffrey. And Daniel, nice to have you here. So he's hanging out in Jacksonville, Florida. And Jeffrey gives his regards. And Ron gives his regards. And Jeffrey has a question for Ron. How would you compare Davao City to Dumaguete? And then Daniel wants to at least say, you're going to be busy, but see if you got an open schedule till the 14th. So let's see. Okay, so Ron says he hasn't been in Dumaguete. I was going and was locked down, but he likes Bohol for something's better, which there are advantages of being in Davao City. So, yeah. And Daniel T. will, so the announcement is the Dirty will announce the fate of the quarantine areas again. I think that's been a big habit for the Dirty. So he is going to be constantly giving a report every 2 weeks as the president. All right, and okay, so you're only gonna be in Jacksonville for the second and third, so he's dropping this kid. All right, Knit Bomb, welcome from good old Cali there. Yeah, and I'm waiting to see it too, so yeah, that news will come out. All right, Carl, good morning. So nice to see you here from the Bay Area. And Thomas hanging out in Palm Springs, and he's coming here. So I did see your email, but I will reply to you, Thomas. So I did see it last night. And yes, but okay, still won't be available at those dates. So not a problem. So yes. All right. So we have today's fun topic of South Korea's housing and renting policies. So I actually have a lot of bullet points to cover. So first thing, before I go into rent, I did a lot of Google searches, did a lot of copy and paste, so I can at least pass on some information that I know about. And if any of my other friends that live in Korea come in, they can give some insight too. So the first one is, what is a high salary in Korea? So a person working in Korea typically earns around 3.8 million won per month, which is an equivalent of maybe 3,300. And salaries range from 983,000 won, which is approximately about 780 US dollars, to 17.4, which is about 15,000 a month. That's usually your 10-year professionals that gets the raise. So that's what we're looking at salary usually. So I wanted to throw that in there before I go into the housing policies. So that's another thing. So, yep. So I'm going to catch up here. And Jeff, yep. And looks like a hurricane will be joining me as I visit Jacksonville. So there's the first point there, salary. And then I wanted to throw this question out there. So is moving to Korea a good idea for now? This doesn't pertain to any tourist, but it pertains to long-term possibilities. So for a non-Korean, especially who is not an ethnic Korean, moving to Seoul is not a good idea. Moreover, there is a fierce competition for jobs, housing, and top universities. So there is lots of competition, lots and lots and lots of competition. So that is one issue that we are going to be dealing with. As you know how Korea, it is so competitive, extremely competitive. So that's another thing here that we have to deal with. So as a foreigner, yeah. So the only way, if you're a Westerner from those 7 countries, yep, you come teach English here. And if you have a company from the West that is based in Korea, that's another way. Or you're part of the U.S. military. But of course, if you get put on the U.S. military base, the housing is just like America. So it's a modern America. So those will be some ways to be here in Korea, or you are an entertainer, or you have a skill that a local Korean can't do. So wanted to reiterate. Now, how much money do you need to live comfortably in South Korea? Okay, so the best part of your $2,000 per month salary is that you could save it. That's what mostly the English teachers make. And it's easy to live off of $1,000 per month or less in Korea, which would allow you to save over $10,000 in just a year, cheaper than the US. So for whoever is going to go teach English, yeah, you still could technically save because you're not paying for a housing. So you can still save $1,000 and then live off the $1,000 as long as you don't go crazy like the typical foreigner and get drunk every night. So I've seen guys waste their money on crap. So that's another thing. So just wanted to let you know, FYI. So yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to catch up on some comments. Yep, Bob, good morning. So hope everyone's well. And then Daniel has a point here. Moving to Korea will require learning the language. Yep, acclimate to the culture, get ready to spend lots of money relatively to highly advanced economics, prepared to induce stress from working. Yes, you're going to deal with lots of stress. Yeah. So there you go. So that answers your question. Okay, Scott. And so even the lowest rung jobs are hard to get. Yeah. And especially now with the COVID-19, there's still people go, I want to come to Korea to teach English. And I'm like, well, good luck. If you come with, you better come in with Epic, but Epic tells you where you go. You don't say, I'm going to Seoul or Busan. You could be in countryside. So those are probably your better jobs, or a university. Aztec, awesome to see you again. Welcome from the Cool Kids Table Nation. So Aztec's here to join us. And Nippon, yeah, I wonder what is a skill that Koreans can't do other than English teaching? Well, Nippon, here's the thing. As much as Koreans do a lot of things well, but when it comes to like research and development, like Samsung, LG, Hyundai, not a lot of people know, but a lot of the ones that kind of help do the research and development are foreigners. They hire foreigners. That's why, like, as in the past, I told you, why do I see so many Saudi Arabians, Pakistanis working at the nuclear facility here in Dayton? They're the ones with the skills to, do things 100 different ways. And, I have a lot of fellow, Middle Easterns that I've, talked to over the years. They go, King, man, me and my buddies from Saudi Arabia, we have like 20 ways to, do the experiment. But the damn Korean guy goes, this way only, 이렇게. And that's the problem sometimes in Korea. When you're talking about research, development, you're supposed to innovate, get more things done. Yeah, there's a lot of foreigners in research and development, or they use Koreans that been overseas and come back. They're the ones working that because they kind of maybe have the understanding of, oh, there's a million ways to skin a cat. So that's what we run into with some of these companies, which most people don't know, but it's the research and development has a lot of foreign, input, the ones that go, oh, we can do it this way and do it that way. So, and it's hard when I talk to fellow Koreans that lived in the U.S. 10 years, they come back and work in a Korean company. They hate it because they've learned in America or in the West, like, oh, this is how we work as a team. Oh, this is how we conceptually can go point A to point B to point C. So, yeah. So those are the issue. It's cheaper than the U.S., but yeah, not like Philippines and Southeast Asia. But when we compare it to the West, yeah, Korea does work. For me, yeah, it's cheaper than the U.S. But yeah, I agree. Philippines and Thailand, Vietnam, it's a little different. Now, 1 dozen per month in Saudi is minimally okay, but I recommend having roommates to minimize expenses, or you're going to be living that Goshi one life, That's what some Korean students do. So if any of you find out about Asian Boss, yeah, there's a young Korean student who's a college student, lives in a tiny little cell, Actually, my little room that's a cell is bigger than his place, So that's another thing. But I do have some information to tell you guys later. Yep, Korea, expensive, stressful, go, yes. Yeah, that's why a lot of them run to Thailand, because they get 3 months in Thailand, Aztec. So when I talk to Koreans, they're like, yeah, I'm staying there for 3 months. I'm going to take my 90-day. So, yeah. Yeah, those comes for someone tempted to compete for work. But what about retiring? Thomas, I still would retire in Southeast Asia. I would not retire in Korea unless, you got ties to families. Now, it's funny. I was having a long talk with my dad, and he was talking about, well, if you do marry your Filipina and, you do this, I can set this up for you and set this up for you, and you got to do this and this. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. So, I mean, for me, because of family ties, I could live in Korea. But unless you have a lot more money, yeah, Korea is going to be really hard unless you don't stay in Seoul or Busan. You stay in like smaller cities, So, and most of the expats are in their 50s and 60s here. They've been here for almost 25 years, and they're usually married to a local. So even some of my guests, they're married to locals. Yep. So that's an unusual situation. Agreed right there. Yeah, and don't even try getting low-rung jobs in Korea. Locals will throw a fit and throw plates at you, and you'll be shamed in public. Yeah, you can't get those. And anyways, you can't get those. And even if I have the F4 Korean Heritage Visa, I technically still can't get those. It still has to go to a local. But I can still teach English with it. They will, because I'm a native. But sometimes there's other F4 gyopos, like a Korean Chinese, a Korean Russian. Those guys, yeah, they're on an F visa. They'll get hired if the school is desperate. But if I'm a native speaker, they're going to take me over those guys. Go, oh, yeah. So, yeah. So it is really tough. Yeah. Yeah, you're in a special situation. So, yeah. And Aztec gives his regards to you, Thomas. Yeah, and retiring is going to be tough because the cost of living is relatively high, So I mean, the only way I would be able to retire here is, yeah, I work my ass off and, I have family help, but, I really don't. I'll keep a base in Korea as long as I can, but technically, I'd rather be in Southeast Asia. Yeah. And if I was in your shoes, I signed a 1-year lease on an apartment and study part time. Yeah. So, and that's another thing. It's going to still be tough, to find a student visa because I was still looking at that. So that is something to think about. Yep. So, yep, Aztec and howdy. Yes. Yep. And I love all these greetings here. I'm glad I can read them till it becomes like Geo and Paul's channel. And Scott, I might, if I can get a visa, that'll be me allowed to learn Korean. Yeah. Yeah, and I was having a conversation with my dad about that. He said it's going to be really hard, but we have to just probably research because there's things that I'm going like, whoa, what do I do? Yeah, Thomas King has a good point. There might be no classes right now, too. So that's another issue. There's nothing going on. So, yeah. Yeah, and Thomas' final destination, anywhere that allows him to get in anywhere, So, yeah, and first-time runners, I recommend Goshi ones and Hashi jobs if there's budget, but policy depends on how long anyone can stay there. Yeah. Yeah, who is only making 1,000 a month? Mostly locals, but sometimes for local young college kids on a part-time, when Korean we call autobite, they're not even making that. So, and that goes to my point here. Let me break down the minimum wage. That's a good point you brought up, Scott. So, what is the minimum wage here? Let's take a look here. So what's the minimum salary in Korea? The legal minimum wage in South Korea stood at 8,350 South Korean won per hour, which is about $7 an hour. This is as of May 6th. So yes, and actually this just became a raise. It was actually 7 or 6,000 won. So that is what the fee was. That's what the minimum wage was. So it just went up on there. So yeah. Okay, Scott, if it was Philippines, I'm not sure when that will open. Yeah. So yeah, and I think Thailand is slowly opening up to the others for Korea, Japan, China, but certain workers, long-term visas for Thailand. But then you still have to quarantine and it's still going to cost a lot because I wouldn't mind going to Thailand, but I don't want to sit and pay for that quarantine. So that's my issue if I want to go to Thailand. Yep. And those that are working either in retails or in hotels. Yes. And speaking of them, some of them have no benefits. Like some of those ajumas, and I feel sorry for them. They get no freaking benefits because they're just like temporary workers, and they've been temporary workers for almost 20 years at Lotte Department, or in Korean, Lotte Baekojum. Baekojum is department store. And it's just like, really? So they get no benefits. And same thing, even in the Philippines, they'll fire people before they're 6 months, so they don't have to pay benefits. So you never get the right training for some of those Filipinos because they can them after 6 months, So that's even a nicer. Yeah. So, right. Korean people. I thought you meant foreigners. Now, Koreans, yeah, as foreigners are going to kind of make more. Because plus, as a foreigner, you're not going to be in Korea unless you have money or you have a skill set to do something in Korea. So there's no other way unless you sneak in. Oh, Jackie, hello. Shout out to you too. So, Jackie, welcome. Yeah. Scott King, would you consider starting a business in Korea? Not really. And I see so many people start businesses and they go under in less than 6 months to a year. And just my area in Yusung, I've seen so many places go up and down in 5 years, I can count more than my hands how many times a business has gone up and down. But at one point, Scott, because I have a F visa, I was thinking about my dad was going to buy me a 3-bedroom apartment. I was going to live in this area called Noandong next to the subway where Daniel stayed at the hostel. I was going to have kids. I was going to maybe look to get with a Korean girl that speaks very good English and she can recruit the kids and we could work together. I mean, I had all those thoughts, and this was just 5 years ago that I would run a school, but now I'm glad I did not do that because I'd be SOL right now, in debt, stressed out. Man, I'm glad I never pulled the trigger on that. I'm so happy. Yeah, I don't mind living in Korea, but more into province type or somewhere near Seoul, as long as community is really accessible and contact and can go to districts like Gangnam, Anyang, or Namyangju-gu in no time. Yeah, well, Korea's so easy transportation. That's one thing I love about Korea. You can just go anywhere. Yep, and we're good. So Jackie says, shout out to all of us. Yeah. So we're all right, as Daniel says. So Nick Mom. So yeah, I don't see any point moving to Korea other than I will find Korean girls are cute and love the food and movies. I would rather earn more in U.S. and retire in the Philippines. Yeah, I'm still more about Southeast Asia. You know, after being in Southeast Asia, you know, I'll keep Korea as a tie because of family. Because technically, I don't think I ever would have came to Korea if I had no family ties here. So that's what kind of makes me come here. And plus my dad lives here. So I was like, okay, I'll go back and forth, see my dad and my mom. So yeah. Yep. Good to hear. Yeah. Hey, but Korean girls are cute. They're all over the place. Eye candy all over the place. So that's the one thing that's pretty cool when I walk around Korea. So, but yeah, if you're young, Korea's pretty good for you. If you're a young foreigner, Korea's like you could date because you're not that old. So that's where it is. So that's a good thing about Korea. But if you're like an old expat, Southeast Asia. Yeah, I'm glad I have a retirement house in the Philippines. Yeah. So there you go. Okay, I think it's, yeah, I'll let him. At least Korea is a good jump up point for Southeast Asia. I think those countries open to Korea before they open to the U.S. Yeah. Yeah, and I was thinking, like, why is Korea open to the U.S.? Well, we have a huge relationship, so they still keep it open to us Americans, and we can still come in quarantine there. So that's the thing I do like. Yeah. Now, 8,350 Korean won is not bad enough to give me the fish cakes. Yeah. Yeah. So good old fish cakes. Yep. And Thomas, it's a great jumping off point, safe, convenient, and good food. Yeah. So, yeah, you'll have a lot of fun as a tourist here. Korea is so much fun. Yep. And you are in Mactan, Lapu. So, yep. Yep. So, Daniel, that's great. A condo. Yep. So, oh, cool. Oh, wow. Comments are coming. Okay, Nippon, yes, a condo near airport is like 10 to 15 minutes away, 5 to 10 away from the beach. Yeah, so Daniel is in a condo, Aztec. Yeah. Daniel, if I were you, I would just live there forever. Yeah. Well, Daniel was there for 5 years. But Thailand, not a fan for a long term? Yeah, well, it's yes and no. Because, Mike lived my ass off, has been there quite a while. So, yeah, and that's a good channel to go check out, Thomas, with Mike, because he'll tell you straight up if if it's bad or not. But, and I've been to Thailand, so I like it. Yeah, and I just don't like the 90-day check-in. But if you're old and you got the old visa for Thailand and you put like, what, 20 or 30,000 bucks away in there, stored, you can get that old visa. So you just got to do 90-day check-in, but it's not but I think you could have couriers that do that for you now. So it won't be too hard in Thailand if you're much older. Yep, Scott, maybe I need to completely sell everything here in the US. Yeah. And Scott says, me too. Okay, Jackie, are you going live? So we'll see. Yep. And Daniel, starting a business in Korea is a big gamble. Everything is hyper competitive unless you have something or value that Koreans do not have. Yeah. So, yep. Yep. Maybe later, Jackie. So if I marry a Korean, I start a Gongbubang. Yep. That's a big possibility. Okay, anyone from San Francisco Bay Area, try Ipungi Korean barbecue, really good quality meat. Yeah. And the thing is, Nick, a lot of the quality meat, yeah, in the U.S., I like eating Korean barbecue in the U.S. Here, they use a lot of Aussie meat here on this side of the world. So you don't get as much stuff, like when you eat Korean barbecue in America, all you can eat comes with the samgyeopsal, pork belly, the bulgogi, marinated meat, and the beef brisket, like the little, chadorbeegi. So that doesn't happen a lot here in Korea. You usually get samgyeopsal, just a pork belly. Yep, no need to marry my girlfriend. She and I can stay in a relationship normalcy with the blessing of the parents. Yeah. So, hey, some things are good. Yep, open mind parents. Okay, Jeffrey, good question here. Speaking of benefits, do Epic teachers get any like health insurance, 401k? Okay, yes, they do get health benefits. Usually it is paid by the government 50%. So 50% of her salary she has to pay, but it comes out of her paycheck. For 401k, it's not called a 401k, it's called a pension. So they would take like about $50 to $100 pension. By law, they have to do that. So this is the problem about working in academies where that SOB boss doesn't do that. And guess what? You as the teacher have to pay all that back and put it in the pension system. So yeah, that's why I always recommend going to Epic, a university, or a academy with lots of foreigners, a franchise that has the money. So yeah, those are all mandated by law that she gets that. So in Epic, they usually take care of the Epic teachers really well since it's a government program. So all of that comes into play. But the only thing she'll have to pay for is her electric, water, and her own phone plan. So once she gets, one of these. So what I'm going to show you is my ARC without showing my personal number. So you do need one of these to rent a place, to go get a phone plan, to open up a bank account. So as you can see, Miguk is American. F4 is my Korean heritage. So yeah. And see, I got the Dayton immigration. So yeah. And what's cool is they just stamped in the back and shows when my expiration date is. So yeah, so your daughter is going to get one of these. And once she gets one of these, she's able to do everything. So get whatever plan she needs. And hopefully her co-teacher will be cool enough to help her out. So yeah, her co-teacher's going to put in a lot of work. So they're going to be tired. Yes, they do. Agreeing with me. Wow. Okay, we're all kind of Westernized to a point where we can make decisions and consensus that are practical. Yeah. So, yep. So health insurance and retirement. I could see, Brother King, all your views here love my land, Philippines. Thanks for, yeah. Yep, a lot of them, Jackie, came from Paul, Gio, Enrique. So a lot of the guys, or even some of them from the Thailand. Some of them want to go to Thailand. So, yeah, we got a huge fan base, but a lot of fan base for Philippines. So occasionally I'm going to be throwing some Philippines live stream again. So I have some topics in my head that I can't wait to do. So it's going to be fun. Yep, I'm 69 and a huge K-pop girl band fan. Yep. So, yeah. Okay. Aztec, man, you're super young. Wow. You're young, Aztec. Southeast Asian standards, we're young. It's good. Yep. It's more fun here in the Philippines, right, guys? Yes, it is. It's way more fun. King has a video on WaveCon, so we'll be sorry. Yeah. I don't know when I'm gonna put it out. I'll have to talk about it and kind of put my research together. I like to try to put some thought into it. But of course, in Daniel's case, it's more fun in Korea too. So yeah. Yeah, Philippines is girl for girls, cheap rent, and natural beauty islands and waterfalls. So yeah. So yeah, of course, Key is from Korea. Yep, and Jackie Scott is in Korea right now too, teaching, but he has a girlfriend in the Philippines. Yep, good transportation, safety, and food. Yeah, I find critical thinking and playing hard to get amongst Korean women kinky, fun, and determined in the Philippines. It'll kind of pass. Yeah. So whatever floats everyone's boat. Yep, Aztec gives that nice greeting. Good morning. Just on the background, listening to you. Oh, hello, Jan. Welcome. Yeah. So she has her channel. So she's hanging out in Pampanga near Clark Airport. Yeah. So waves. Yeah. So yep. So when do you think you can travel to China? I'm hoping in January, but I think it'll be next fall. That's the way I'm looking at. I don't see anything optimistic enough to go anywhere right now as of this year. Especially for Americans, it's just tough. They're gonna say, "Oh, you're American, you ain't coming in." Yeah. So my U.S. passport is enough for a phone plan, Koshon stays, and getting Korean ladies to chill, eat, barbecue, and drink soju. Plus, I speak a lot of bit of Hangul. Yeah. Well, you can as a tourist, you can still get a plan. Yeah, it's not that hard to get a plan, and just download that Kakao Talk and Neighbor, and you're good. So yeah, those are those important things. Yeah, Jan gives her regards to Nick, Mom. And Jeffrey says hello. See, at least I can do these comments now before I can. Yeah, see, beautiful. Hello to each other. See, yeah, yes, you're super young, Aztec. You're younger than me. Yep, and still singing love songs. And guess where Ron is? Yes, it's more fun in the Philippines for Ron. Okay, good morning. And Dave from Upland is hanging out with us. So we got quite a crew here today. Rain just stopped. If I sing, it will rain again. Yeah, well, there's a Temptation song, I Wish It Would Rain. But that's if you're really sad. Yep, I'll find out as soon as it opens. Do you have any political account? Call D30, tell them to open. Yeah. Yeah, she's hanging out in Cavite, Thomas. Yeah, for anyone searching for Goshi wants, go to goshipages.com. So there's a link there that Daniel has provided. So yeah. So China on a U.S. passport is iffy right now. Yeah. So even if I've been in Korea this whole time, they're not going to care. They see me with a U.S. passport. No, he's not coming in. So yeah. So yep. Morning. And yeah, Nitbom's like, Jan, what's going on? Yep, and it depends on the ethnicity of persons, either Asian or Caucasian. I never had problems between China because I'm half Chinese. Yeah. So right now, yeah, no one's going in except Chinese nationals. And then they're talking about maybe the long-term visas will be allowed to come in August 1st or September 1st, but still do not know what's going on. Yep, I'm younger than you. I was hope you're joking. You look 20 years younger than me. Nope, you're younger than me, Aztec. So, yeah. Oh, hello, Vita, and Art from Artie and Vita. And yeah, so these are my good friends from California. So Vita's husband, Artie, again, is my season ticket holder partner for the Dodgers. So yes, we're not selling any tickets right now because we can't go. So, yeah, thank you. I hope there's someone younger than me here. Oh, you already have a couple. Or maybe Daniel is. I don't know. By how many months? Yep. Hey, Jeff, kudos. Yeah. Yep, I will open it just for you. Yeah, get into the Philippines. Okay, for renting house, you're required to put a deposit when staying long term. Yes, and I have something to talk about the housing situation. So, let's see. So, this is from Google, high end. How much is it to rent in Korea? So, minimum monthly house rent is around 300,000. And this is not in the heart of Seoul. This is the outskirts. And office tail, 5 or 8 pyong is just the size. On the average, expect to pay 500. Now, in the main city of Seoul, kind of double that. So double the fee there for Seoul. So yes. So seriously, double it up. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to talk about my area, Dayton, real quick. So this is the average of my area, 290,000 to 500,000 for a one room. So I just rented a one room. I'm waiting for the deal to close. Deposit. The worst say is 1,850,000 to 5 million, 4,251. So that's what it is. And I'm going to talk about the worst say, the deposit, after I finish catching up here. So let's see. All right. Cool. Dodgers are up 4-0. So I'll be doing a post game on Facebook for the Dodgers. I put myself. And there's less than 200 per month Goshen room rentals in Yongsan District. And of course, you don't have to put any deposit, right, Daniel? Sometimes they'll just let you just pay up front. So it just depends. And if I want to spend a month in Korea, should I look for Airbnb or hotels or what? Right now, Nippon, Airbnb is out of the question because if you're a foreigner, a lot of Koreans are not going to even respond to you right now. Your best shot is hotels, or do quarantine first and then just go drop into a hotel and then just ask around that local expats, that know people, or make friends with local Koreans that know people. So that would be the way to go. So Nippon, if you're a first timer in Airbnb, if you're a repeat tourist, use Airbnb as price comparison, then contact the Goshen owner for possible good deals. So that's one of the things. But I'm going to talk about the deposit. And in Korean, it's called 월세. So what it is a monthly payment plus deposit. Okay. Most of the times it's 1 year. You could maybe find 6 months, but it's really, push and pull there. It's not like Thailand or the Philippines where you can negotiate it. In Korea, they usually want, because there are regulations to it. So I'm going to give a quick. So 월세 requires a renter to deposit a fixed sum to the landlord, after which monthly rent is to be paid on a specified date each month. And the amount of the security deposit for 월세 is lower than the jongse. So I'm going to talk about jongse later. The amounts of the security deposit and monthly rent are negotiable. Yes, I just negotiated mine. And real quick, the deposit sum can be increased in order to lower your monthly rate. So you could offer $2,000 and then your rent could go down to $270. And the lease, you, the renter, should pay the monthly utility charges, electricity, water, gas, phone, internet, and TV reception. Some might come with it, but most of the times, electric, water, and gas you are paying for that. All right, so I'm going to cover some of the comments, and I'm going to talk about the Jongse. So yes, and Katrina's here. Yes, and I was with Katrina and her husband Ben, and we've been using Agoda with no problems, but we made reservations twice since March with hotels. Of course, a question mark was because your husband Ben was using a Korean bank card. So the question is it because of that or not? If we use an American bank card, would they see that? You figure it shouldn't be an issue, but you never know. Okay, and dried fish. It has been that long. I crave it. Yeah. So, yeah. Yep. Thanks. Yeah. No problem. Yeah, we're here. Yeah, we're safe for 3 or 6 months either in Hongdae, Gangnam, or Itaewon. Yeah. So, and that's a nice way of negotiating your rent. Butter up with a larger wad at the start. Yeah. Okay, most room rentals include Wi-Fi, so it's a benefit. Yes. And for those, yeah, they use a Hana bank card. So actually, I have Hana because, yeah, since I was taking the course at the school they were at, they made me get Hana bank. That's the thing. Sometimes schools want me to get 4 different bank accounts. I'm like, why? So we don't have to pay the fee? No. I'm not doing that. You're out of your mind. It's hard enough keeping up with 2 bank accounts. So that's another thing. All right, so Worsay is deposit plus rent. Now I'm going to talk about Jongse. Jongse is key money deposit, or key money deposit is a housing rental system specific to Korea. So let me break this down. Instead of paying monthly rent to a landlord, you just pay a large sum. Payment is deposited to the landlord's bank account for the duration of the contract, and they usually last 2 years. So by law, Jongse contracts are signed for 2 years. At the end of the contract, the deposit amount is returned to the renter. And I've said this before, if he doesn't have the money, you are now the new owner. Some landlords prefer this method because they can collect interest from the amount deposited in the bank. So that's one of the reasons. And sometimes they'll make investments to other places. Really risky, but And another reason why some landlords may prefer the Jongse method is simply because they have purchased a property with Jongse contract themselves. Sometimes they get a bank loan to do the Jongse. So sometimes they could go pay the bank loan off right away. So, yeah, I've heard all kinds of strategies when I talk to Koreans. And some may not like the key money deposit method because depositing a large sum of money comes with risk, not to mention the difficulty of trying to come up with a large sum of money at once. Yeah, so it's really tough. You got to come up with at least thousands and thousands of dollars. And then the cheapest that I known of talking to any local Koreans is $27,000 in Dayton for a 1-room. So and it's a 2-year contract. So yeah, and the reason I noticed this is my buddy's coworker who works. She works really hard, and she saved up this money, and she has a 1-room. She has her own car. And I even asked her, "You don't have credit card debt?" She goes, "No, I have no credit card debt," which I was kind of shocked because she's one of the few Koreans that don't have any debt at all. And she is a single woman too. And even for she's almost 40, she is really, I think she's pretty, So, and I think she's still single. But the thing is, you need to speak Korean. But yeah, she does speak a little English, but I kind of made it where I was speaking more Korean to her because I wanted to practice more of my Hangul with them. I speak Korean to a few people that I'm close with, However, this method is the most advantageous for tenants since the full deposit sum is returned at the end of the contract. So yes. And real quick, when you're looking to rent on key money deposit method, the first step, you must take is to check that there are no unpaid loans. So it is imperative that you check the builder's register before you sign. So double check. Always do your due diligence. So make sure, you know, you do your homework. Do not take anything I say for gospel here. Do your homework. That's the disclaimer. Always do your homework. Yeah. Yep. So there we go. See, I'm losing my hat. Yeah, most room rental. Yeah. Cause okay. Ooh, I'm losing my spot again. Daniel T. There you go. No money, no homie. Yeah, you ain't getting a no homie. Yeah. And no, not honey, but homie. Yes. Yes, it's all about the homie. Yeah. Okay. And King, where in China is your girl? She is in like the Shandong province. I think another let's see, one of the subs for Geo, he's in the same process. He's more in Qingdao. So my girlfriend's more in Yantai. So yeah, that's where she is. Okay, my good friend lives in this hometown of Hong Kong. Yeah. Hong Kong is not China. Yeah. We'll see what happens because they're fighting about that right now. Yeah. So rewrite Ducatis. So yeah. Let's see. Hong Kong is part of China. So yeah, they want a mainland. But yeah. Yeah, we did PCH before he returned to Hong Kong. So on the PCH 1 freeway. So that's one of those things. So yeah. So far I've covered what is Chongsei and Worsei. So let's see. I'm going to show you some brands here. So what does one room look like? Here's what a one room looks like. So this is something that I got. You get a bed, a TV, a desk, and place to put your stuff. So that is a one room place for you. So, yep, this is your typical one room that most English teachers will get. So, and this is a place I got because I don't need that much space. So this room is a little smaller, but the next place that I'll get into will be a little bigger, about 26 like meters or something. So that's what we're looking at right now. Okay. So let's see. And I can't go away. You Filipino lovers who are good bloggers there. Retirement property. I used to follow Property Club, but I stopped watching them early in the year after the carry on with his missus. Yeah. I sometimes do watch Property Club. Peter. Yeah. So yeah. There was another guy, can't remember, but I do know one for Thailand, but yeah, I forgot the other guy for Philippines. Oh, I think Daniel has one. Hello, King. It's been flooding in Kansas all day. Weird weather. Yeah. I was telling everyone earlier it was flooding in my town here too. So we couldn't walk on that river walk. So nice to see you. Yep. Try Priscello. Okay. So he's in there. So tell that to the Hongkonese. Yeah. I did, and I haven't been bashed. Yeah. Yeah. So muchas gracias, Daniel. Yeah. Spaghetti rockets. Okay. So, yeah. Yep. My experience was not that good. Oh, yeah. Asia Unscripted, I think. Yeah. He's a Filipino blogger. He's in Cebu. Jason's a good friend of mine. I've been trying to get him on the stream, but his teaching schedule is like out of control. I was just talking to him last night. So, yeah, Asia Unscripted. No. But, yeah, when he has time, he does go out and tour now Cebu Business Park. But, yeah. But he teaches like 10 to 12 classes a day. So I was like, okay, let me know when you slow up your schedule. So, yeah, so you found his channel. Yeah, he's a blogger, but I don't think he's a real estate presenter search. No, he just talks about these reports about what's going on, or he talks about, oh, I just got this new place for this much. So he just gives you tours of areas. So it's not like Property Club where Peter goes over, this is how much it costs. This is pretty cool. Airbnb, screenshots, and all that. Yep. No. From what I've seen. Yeah. Yeah. So 103 here, SoCal. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, dude, get him on stream. Would love an introduction. Yeah. Yeah, if I do get him on the screen, it might be without his face because he doesn't show his face. Of course, the funny thing is I met Asia Unscripted knowing the face first before seeing his channel. The only way I knew about his channels, I met him in person in Cebu with Rike. So I had, we met at Landers having pizza. So I actually have a face to the name, actually. And he's been a couple times showed his face on Ricky's channel, but he's like, yeah, more wanted to not show his face. So I was like, not a problem. I said, hey, you could just come on the audio and I'll keep showing my face, So not a problem. Yeah, it rained hard off and all night this morning. Okay, in Davao. So I don't know. My rain must have passed down to the Philippines. So it must have came over down there. Amazing Philistine does a lot of blogs on rentals and homes for sale near Cebu. That's right. That's all he does. That's what I was thinking about. Yeah, he just goes, this condo is certain 10,000 pesos. If you do a 1-year contract and look at the view, you can see Ayala Mall. I like it. Yeah. So, yeah. So, same here. Yeah. Yeah, so there we go. Fair enough, not showing his face. Yeah. Yep, I have no issues with people that don't want to. Cheap Charlie did it Cheap Charlie never showed anything either. So, yeah, I show my face on it for live chats. Yeah. Yeah, so it was finally nice to see Daniel. So I was like, yep. Yep, not to bring up Cheap Charlie, but wow, what a train wreck. Yeah. Yeah. Frugal Charlie equals smart Charlie. Yeah. He is frugal big time. So, yeah. So, yep. Yes, it is. It is rainy season. It's rainy season for me here. Okay. One thing I want to share because, I couldn't premiere my video in the morning. I had to do it at nights. So, and because I had to go meet a realtor. And what sucks is he stood me up, but it was no problem. I said, oh, guess I ain't using you ever again. So I went to go see my buddy. He goes, where's he said, he's not coming. Text me in Korean, said, sorry, 죄송합니다, not coming. More likely probably I wouldn't be surprised if he did Wei-shik last night or got drunk and he's still recovering. So no big deal. So just move on. There's so many realtors. And speaking of realtors, you know what these realtors are called? They're called 부동산, Korean realtor. And 부동산 this is what it looks like in Korean. So just like you see 부동산. So if you see that sign, that is a Korean realtor. So of course, it's hard to find English ones, but try to find something or take a Korean friend with you if you are looking for a place. So 부동산. Yep. So you can go see a 부동산 person. And yeah. Oh, I want to show you the office tale. And this is like an office tale. Only thing is I don't like these kind of office tales. I like ones that are one floor. Because if you go up and you're tall, at least as a regular Western guy, 5'7" or above, your head might bump into the ceiling up there. So I don't like these kind of places. And I don't want to go up any stairs. I'd rather stay on one floor if possible. So this is an office tale, just to let you know. So yeah, so that is a pudong-san right there. Oops, it would help for me to take off the picture, wouldn't it? Yep. Okay, so let me get back to these comments here. So yeah. Okay, when it comes, let me double check I didn't skip anything. Yep, face-to-face interactions are best when it comes to checking Goshen rentals. Yeah, you want to do that. Yes, hey King, we chat with email. Can you explain how to do a dual citizenship? Yeah, I've been trying to research this because I got your email. Because there's one where if you get an F5, because that's the next highest thing, could lead to it. Or even as F4 Gilpos ourselves, we're supposed to take a Korean test. And I don't know if you read my response to the email because I was having a conversation with my dad. He goes, no, you need to take this test. You got to pass the Korean test. You got to do this. You got to have a lease. And you got to. So there's so many things. I'm still trying to research this because I've heard so many different, and I've seen some of the bloggers, but I was still confused at the end of the day. So I am still confused on that process. So because I wouldn't mind having both passports, but if it's too much work, I don't know. So I've been still trying to research how to get that dual citizenship. So and I even looked at some of the things, and some of the stuff still doesn't make sense to me yet. So I'm going to keep researching. If I find an answer, I'll let you know. If you find something before I do, please let me know. I'm kind of curious about that. Yeah. Okay, which neighborhoods in Dayton are good? Okay, Thomas, I love Yusung, where I'm going to move to. So I love Yusung because it's a fluent area. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of places, a lot of coffee shops. So I love Yusung. Another place you could pick Uningdong, which is old downtown, where you've seen some of my tours. Only thing is things shut down a little early there. Or you can be in new downtown in Dungsangdong. So that's where that FML and the foreign bars are. But the thing is, I get kind of sick of that place. I'm not there as much. Because I'm still living walking distance to Dungsangdong, I still go over there. But if I didn't live walking distance, I would never go there. So, and both those bars, they're my buddies. I know them. I talk to them, say hello. But I don't go there as often as I do. I'll go there if you show up. But I would prefer Yusung. Yusung is a much better area. And you can still get one near the subway or even close to walking distance from the subway or the bus. So, I prefer Yusung, and that's where I'm going to move back to where I used to live. And this area is called Wupyeongdong, where the subway's here, but there's nowhere to go. I'm a little bored here. So, Okay, reading Hangul is pretty easy. Vocabulary is difficult, but easy. Ka, na, da, a, ya, o, yo. So Nippon, you could do it, especially if you're still 35. You can still get it, So Okay, would you recommend my daughter getting an F visa while she's working for Epic? Well, she can't do it the first year. You got to at least put a year or two in, is what I heard about the F2-99 visa. But she could still go work her goals to it. But I would not apply. If I was your daughter, I would wait and get through a year, or two and go, okay, do I want to make a life in Korea? Do I really want to be here? Can I deal with some of the BS at times? Can I handle the way Koreans are? So if she can handle, after a year or two, she can handle the culture, handle the way this society is, then I would say, go for the F visa. So it's good to know that she wants it. But while she does Epic, she could work towards her points. But at least you have to put 1 year that I know of in teaching, and then once you can you got to transfer it. So, and it's lot of work. And just FYI, the points for F2, they're getting smaller. They're making these restrictions harder. So yeah, so those are the places. Yeah, so that's one of the things to think about. But yeah, if she likes it, yeah, I would say go for it. But she has to at least put in a year of employment. So that's one of the criterias. Okay, how do you spell those places? Thomas, what I'll do is I will email you those towns, because I did check your email. I'm going to get to your email after I go eat my $4 all-you-can-eat food. Yeah, thanks. I got the email. I have nothing but time. Okay. So, yeah. So, we're going to just have to just keep researching because, yeah, I would love to know what's going on. Yep, dealing with visa process, but not Epic. Yeah, and it has nothing to do with Epic, but she could work on it after 1 year. So there's so many ones. Okay, so haha, 5-5. Okay, so no, you're 51. Okay, so got it. Hey, look who's here. So all of you, we were all hanging out with Paul, and now Paul is joining us. So he's probably making a quick drop by because I know you got things to do. So yep, welcome, Paul. It's always fun having Paul around. Yeah, I love the San Fernando Valley connection we got going here. So, yep. Okay, so I want to cover a few more things here. So now, here's a couple apps for finding a place. There's a place called the app called Dabong and Zikbong. So when you're trying to find a place in Korea, oh, I forgot to download that app, but I have that app, right here. Let me see if I have Dabong app. Hopefully I can find it. Okay, so here is Dabong right there. So I'm going to click on it. Yes, it is in Korean, of course. So see, it gives you a map. You can push on the areas, and then it gives you a list of places. So you see 200. So 200 is 2,000 deposit, 270 a month. So you could do that. So that is one of the ways you can check if you are looking for long-term housing. So yeah. Oh yeah. So this is cool. At least I don't have 200-300 people, so I can at least let everyone be recognized. Yeah, Knit Bomb's like, yeah, hey, Paul and Ron. Hey, Paul. And Jeffrey. Hey, Paul. And then he goes, yeah, no problem, Paul. Yeah. See, and we enjoyed your live. Yeah, the funny thing, Paul, is like, I deleted those comments from those trolls and it still showed up. I don't know why. That was a funny part. Yeah, see, so Paul says hello. Yeah, Aztec, you should go hang out with Paul. That is Ricky's friend too. And yeah. So yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah. Aztec, I got the joke. Yeah. That's a Thailand thing. This just it. Uh-oh, Daniel. Cebu downgraded to general community quarantine. That's good news. You can go to Ayala Mall now. So that means Asian scripting will have his thing going. Yeah. So, yep, already Mac. Yep, everyone stay good. I have to hit the road on my gay little scooter. Yeah. So, yep. It has streamers. Yep. Yep. In Aztec, we were hanging with Paul, and then they all came, whoever left over came here. So it's cool. Okay. Now, Daniel's like, this just in, Korean won gauge stability versus the US dollar. Yeah. So it's actually right now it's about 84 to 85 cents to 1,001. So yeah. So usually, like if my budget is 1,000 US dollar, then it goes into 1,100 won. So it's pretty nice. Yeah. So have a great day for Paul. So he's on his red gate scooter going off. Yep, have a late meeting. Make it 3 hours. LS, I'll be back. Yeah, I'm going to try, but if you go hang out with Mike, live your ass off, he'll do 3 to 9 hour live streams. You can go and come back. So, yeah. Okay, I wanted to share this with you. This has something to do with, so just look at this one. So englishso.go.kr, this has like, if you need information about Korea or housing or places, this site is pretty good. So you could go look at that. If you want to take a screenshot of that, you can take a screenshot. So yeah, so you could do, that's not a bad site. And I'm going to give you a quick report from the brand. There's a quick map here. This is where most of the foreigners live. So if you see right in the middle, yep, Yongsan, that is the foreign area of Itaewon. You notice it's one of the second highest populated of Seoul. And then there is Gonggu. So Kurogu is 27,000. So we have a lot of foreigners that live in this area. So that's the map of Seoul right there. It's the main capital of what foreigners live. So yeah, so there is a lot. Yeah. So okay, yeah. So you told Paul. Yep, yep. Let's see, and yep. Oh dog. Yep, and Manila stays on. Okay, so general community quarantine just announced. Okay, that's not bad. Is that you in Asia? Yeah. Wonder if he's in. I keep forgetting if he's in. Yeah. So there was talk of increase to M, so modified enhanced community quarantine. So, well, GCQ is pretty good, so people can go places. So that's the cool part now. Age unscripted. No, I'm just a viewer, dude. Yeah. Yeah. See, usually Asia Unscripted would drop by, but I have a feeling he's teaching some classes right now. So he is staying busy with that one. Yeah. So, yep. Cool. It's nice to click on all the comments while I can. All right. So I'm going to give you some news. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Wanted to give this information. Possible new place for me. So they wanted 3 million won from me. And my friend was like, take it. He's not going to go down. I'm like, just ask. I told the Budong lady, the realtor, I was like, ask him if he'll take $2,000. And he goes, no, he's not going to go down. My friend is telling me this. He goes, just take it. I was like, no, I'm not. Just because it's listed that way, and I'm going to try. The only if he says no, then I might pay the $3,000. But I'm like, no, try. And because I had a feeling the place was vacant, no one was renting it. He's probably a desperate tenant. So I said, you know what? Ask. And then the lady asked. Guess what? He said $2,000. It's like, yes. So that'll be my deposit, my warsay. And then guess what? My rent will be 320,000 won, 275 US with internet and cable, and 31 for maintenance and 60 for utilities. Because the reason I can put that number, because I used to live almost in that same block. Actually, I'll be moving over to the apartment next door that I used to live back in Yusong. So yeah, so that was one of the things. So So right now, the deal is my buddy and my dad is trying to finalize the deal for me, because the thing is, this cannot go into my name because my name is under my dad's lease, because there's no way he wants to take me off that lease. It's just in case something happens to my dad, because if I'm not on his lease, because he's put the Jongse down, he put about close to 50 G's down, that money is going to go to the government. That property is going to go to the government. So in case something happens, the smart thing is to have me on the lease so I can, take the money and divide it to my family, or whatever his wishes are, or whatever he wants me to do with that money, So, yeah, so the place I'm staying will be under my dad's name. And plus, I don't have to go to immigration and change my address, because they usually put the address back here on the ACR card. So it kind of gets frustrating. And if you don't change your address in 14 days, you get fined, just to let you know. So those are the issues when you deal with housing here in Korea. So we'll see how that goes. And we're still under MGCQ in Davao. So yeah, so that is one of the things. So I'm looking, hopefully by next week, I'll be in my new place. And if the deal does go through, it's not set in stone till it's signed, then I'll be able to give a tour of the place and start live streaming from that place. So it'll be more comfortable, and I'll have air conditioning. I won't be sitting here going through humidity, So I said, yeah, because August, it's worse in Korea. It's more extremely humid. So, yeah. So, yep, sounds like a good deal. So, yeah, I'll be in Yusong. I'll be next, and plus I'll be next door to the $4 all-you-can-eat place. I just go out the door, turn left, and I am there. I don't have to take a bus to go there. See, so after I get off the stream to go get that $4 all you can eat, I have to take a 10-minute bus to get there. So I don't want to do that. I just want to go out the door and go downstairs and say hi to the Ajuma and go, yeah, we're going to go eat. So that's one of the things I wanted to do. Now I wanted to add this to the list here. Here we go. So cost of buying a place is in Dayton, it's about 125,000 to 375,000 US dollars for a 2-bedroom apartment, and some 3-bedroom apartment based on location. So since I'll be in the city of Yusong, it's going to be a lot more expensive. Some could go up to $500,000. Now, if you're going to buy an apartment in Gangnam, you're forking out 1 or 2 million US dollars. So expect that in Gangnam, $1 or $2 million US dollars for a 3-bedroom apartment. Yeah, and so it's just so expensive. Even the low-end places that look like crap is like still like $200,000 to $300,000 US. And that's not in the city center. That's even in the outskirts of Seoul. So it's extremely, extremely expensive. That's the problem. So, and, it's not like 1980 Seoul where things were a little cheaper, where you could work at Gold Star, which was LG. And it was affordable back then in the 80s and 90s, It's not the same for youngsters anymore in Korea. The inflation level has just popped up so high. And now you wonder why there's so much household debt here in Korea. Look at the cost of these places. It's crazy. And most of these young guys that, can't even find a job, getting one of these places is an afterthought. It's not even a thought anymore. So, yeah, so most of these guys are starting to see different things. So the more and more I talk to youngsters, they're just like, there's no way I can afford this, King. What do I do? He goes, I might look to just go to another country. So that's why they are looking to leave. South Korea. It's sad. And by 2000, probably 25, 1 out of 5 is going to be 60 and older. And by 2030, yeah, it'll probably be 1.5 out of 5 people will be, 50 to 55 or older. So the kids we're going to have less and less kids here. So yeah, it's going to be tough. Sounds like you get on a first name basis with all you can eat place. Yep, she already knows me after 5 years. She's happy when I bring in foreigners there. Yeah. So Aztec wants to talk about Australia's miserable as that too, King. All our folks bought houses for 20 to 40K, and they're like 60K now. Many young people in Australia will never own homes. Yeah. So just like the West, Korea, Japan, they're all like in that same boat. It's just unaffordable. And then state of California, Jesus. I say maybe the only affordable place in the state of California is in Central California, and that is really expensive in California. Like Bakersfield used to be really cheap, but Bakersfield is going out of the price range, or there's areas called, in between Bakersfield, like Tulare, Hanford. It's just getting a little bit more expensive, and Fresno is now, really grown. So yeah, it's just getting extremely out of the price range for everything. Yep, exactly, Aztec. It sounds like California, what you just mentioned. So, yep, totally like California. So, yep, so that's how it goes. So, yeah. Okay, I wanted to cover, I forgot one more bullet point. Yep, so just reminder, we have a thing called 1.5 room. So that's where my dad has 1.5, 2 and 3 room apartments. So the average rent for 1.5 or 2 is 750,000 won to 2 million. And your deposit is about 5 million to 20 million won, but it's more like almost to 50 million. And in Seoul, it's like almost 50 to 100 million won with rent. So it's just not affordable in Seoul as much unless you get some roommates in there. So yeah. So, yep, I grew up in Northern California. Yep, and even Compton is getting expensive since they did a lot of gentrifying over there, Yeah, I even been over to Compton. I'm like, whoa, this is Compton? It's not a bad neighborhood. Actually, they did pretty good with Compton here. So yeah, a lot of gentrification. So let's see. Luckily, I decided to pull my finger out 10 years, just finished paying for my first house. Wow. So, yep. So kind of, yeah, that's what is the definition of mortgage? And for those that don't know, definition of mortgage, it's called a death grip. So, yeah, death grip. So, yeah. And of course, yeah, I don't extremely follow this guy 100%, but it's like Dave Ramsey, So he's like, the only debt you should have is a house, and make sure it's only 1/4 of your salary going to your house or something. So, yeah, death grip, and be on a 15-year lease. But yeah, or 15-year, mortgage. But yeah, I do follow some of his stuff, but like I still have a couple credit cards. The only reason is emergency because of because of what's going on right now. I rather book a flight now with a credit card instead of my debit, because then I don't want to wait for my refund like a month later. So yeah. So yep, debt. Yep. So slavery with blinders on. Yep. There's the other definition. Yep, and I am free. So you could say that phrase. I'm free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. So yeah, it's not like the good old days anymore, It's not like probably, the 80s and 90s. Yeah, it's just not fun anymore or easy to get around. So, yeah. And I remember, like, for example, what is it? Like Santa Cruz Valley in California. I remember there was nothing there in the 80s, and all of a sudden, oh my goodness, there's so much traffic going through Santa Cruz, where Magic Mountain is, Six Flags. So, yeah. Okay, Artie, I'm from K-Town. Now I'm in San Diego. Came back to see my kids and renewed passport, and now I'm stuck still waiting for passport for 6 months. Wow. So you're waiting for your renewal. Jeez. Yeah, and I heard there's delays on that. So I'm kind of nervous, like if I come home to America, because my passport expires October of 21. So I'm thinking, I might do mine in Korea. So that's one of the things I was thinking about doing. Yeah, one credit card paid off every month, travel card. Yeah. So I still say have one credit card and make sure you have no balance every month. Credit card companies hate that, but yeah. Yep, everyone keeps saying it's not like the 80s and two income earners needed. Yeah. Yeah, it's sad because guys that I know now, it's like they have 3-4 jobs just to make ends meet. So, yeah. So it's sad, you know. So you have your one job, and then you have your other 2 part-time jobs for your leisure stuff, and you don't even have time to do your leisure stuff. So, and then of course, for a lot of teachers in America, geez, yeah, it's rough for a lot of teachers now, especially like in Oklahoma. A lot of them are like good teachers are like leaving. They're doing what they're coming to Asia instead to go. Wow, this is much better. Yeah. Death Valley's still cheap. Yeah. Wonder why. But really, it's folks simply made their kids get the hard slug out of the way straight away. Everyone would be free sooner. Yeah. So, yeah, it's tough. And then, of course, we're systematically raised this way and this way and this way. That's the way to go. Go to school, grades, college. But, it's not the complete way. And I've been learning, like, even guys that don't graduate from college, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, they didn't graduate from their Ivy League schools. So, put in the hard work. Let's see here. Yep, same. I use my Platinum MC for everything and just pay it back with 0. Does wonders for credit rating and trading back, you ever increasing limit allowance. Yep. So, yeah, I just keep one for travel now because that's what I pretty much do. Yep. Renew in Korea, not in Cali. Way too much BS. Glad I'm leaving. Okay, good to know. I'm going to probably do mine here then. Renew my U.S. passport here probably, coming up in the fall or winter. So, yeah. Yep. Ungraduated, uneducated business people get it done just fine. Yeah. And here's the thing, like we're losing. I mean, if I could do it again, yeah, I would have looked to learn another trade or something. Like there's not enough like welders. There's not enough people in those other physical trades anymore because the mentality is go to college, get a university, then get an extreme student debt. Where the ones that now they're kind of laughing, not completely, but they went into the oil field or they went to welding and they're better off than the college graduate, and they put in the hard work. They're not lazy. They're hard workers, and they just they just said, I'll just keep working, man. They give me good overtime. So I met a few of those guys. They're like, yep, I tell them, you guys are better off than most college graduates. Yep. Really? Death Valley. So good old Death Valley. Right out of the desert. So Aircon has a 6 months life extension. Yeah, sorry, I missed that about the air conditioner. But yeah. Yeah, I'll be happy to get some air conditioning again soon. So hopefully I'll move into my place. Yeah, and I'm gonna do an year lease because I don't see myself going anywhere. So and plus it's still cheap what I'm paying, and then if I leave, I could another thing is I could even have someone else take over the lease. Yeah. Yep. No one knows. Everyone who goes there dies. Look for Bones, Death Valley. Yep. And tax insurance never free. Yep. So here you go. Herb, I'm from SoCal. How's Busan for rents? Enjoy your show. Busan is really expensive, but if you don't go into the main areas like Haeundae Beach, Sokcho, you might want to go a little out. You could probably find cheaper rents because, my family is from Busan, because this is a conversation I have with my dad a lot. He was telling me like, yeah, if I put you in these houses, because, he was wondering if I'm going to stay completely in Korea, I can get you this house. My friends will get you this. So he says much cheaper out there, those homes. But I was like, okay, whatever. But yeah, but Busan's probably like the second most expensive place since it's by the beach. Plus, in Busan, it does not snow. Just to let you know, because a lot of places are on those hills. So it just gets cold, but it does not snow in Busan. So yeah. Nothing makes me cringe more than parents that encourage their kids into college student debt and then on top celebrate their kids getting a mortgage. How upside down can that be? Yeah. So if I have a child, I'm gonna just say, "Oh, you want to go into trade? Okay, I'd be for it." Say, is it gonna take good care of you? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm a little different. I don't want to be a prick and say you must go to college. These days, there's 100 different ways to skin a cat. There's different ways to get around things. Especially in today's times. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. Oh, Jan. Good, King. At least you're not that far from here. I can visit you there with my hubby. Yeah. So yeah, if you can get Cap to come over and eventually you guys can fly over when everything is lifted, yeah, that would be great. Yeah, that's what I was recommending to Old Dog, because for those in the Philippines, if you stay more than 6 months, you have to do that stupid ECC stuff, that exit clearance crap. That's what I call it, exit clearance crap. So I was like, I did mention to Paul, like, hey, come over to Korea for a week or two, and then you don't have to do the exit clearance. So stay 5 months and 3 weeks and get the heck out of the Philippines and come right back. So you don't have to worry about exit clearance or any of those issues. So that's one of the things. Yeah. Do you have snow skiing in Korea? Yeah, they do. There's an area up in Gwangdo, which is like, we had the Winter Olympics in 2018. So you could even go up to Gangneung up north near Pyeongchang. They have snow skiing there. So, and there's other things, because I'm not much of a snow skier. The only reason I know a little bit about it is I had students that were like on a ski team when I was teaching at an academy. They're like, yeah, teacher, I had to be gone. I was in the ski competition. I go, where? Gangwon-do. Oh, you went up to Gangwon-do. Okay. So yeah, they do have all that. So yeah, because winter sports is really big here in Korea. So yeah, they have everything. Hopefully their hockey team will get really good, because they do have a Korean Canadian Gilpo coach. And I don't know if you guys that follow NHL, Jim Pack. He was a teammate with Mario Lemieux for the Pittsburgh Penguins in 91-92. So yeah, he won 2 Stanley Cups as a left winger with Lemieux. So yeah. Yep. Son did not go to college, and now he has a great job with a computer company, contract with the government. Yeah. So, just because you don't go to university, it's, you're a failure. That's the thing that annoys me here about Korea. I said, there's other ways. And in Korea, they make it like it's life and death. Oh, I missed 5 questions. Oh, you're not going to Sky? You're a loser. Nah, bull. And that's where I even try to, tell, the Korean kids, I'm like, hey, if you don't get in the Sky, it's not the end of the world, okay? You just only know one way. There's no such thing as one way. And I tell them that, I'm like, dude, It's not the end of the world, okay? This is a chance for you to step up and do something, pick up a skill set, you know. Okay, so I didn't watch the Olympics, yeah. Yeah, speaking of Winter Olympics for 18, I was able to take my dad and watch the gold medal match between Team Canada and USA women's. So that was a fun, thing to do. Yep, I taught college, mostly a waste of money. Keeping them closed might not stop the spread of COVID, but might stop the spread of communism. Yeah. Yeah, isn't communism what they've been educating with us in the U.S. these days? Yeah. Go figure, yeah. So let's see. Yeah, you can't stay in the Philippines without a visa and can't leave the Philippines without a visa. I think they call that the catch-22. Yeah. So, yeah. And Herb goes, who cares? I hate snow. Yeah. I like snow if I don't have to go out and, slip on the black ice. But if I have to walk out and slip or drive in it, I don't like snow. Yeah, I don't exactly move in high circles like you and the Korean president Kim, but I do know 7 people who went to uni for 4 years each in you. Yeah. No, actually, I don't really move in high circles either. Yeah, because they go, Key, why don't you come? No, I do a lot of things alone, and I just get together with a few people. Like, for example, Aztec, because I get hassled a little bit at times. Like, why aren't you wearing a suit? Like, I'm like, because I don't feel like wearing a suit. If I wear a suit, it's because I woke up that morning. I say, hey, I'm gonna wear a suit today. And of course, I am not going to wear a suit in this weather. Sorry, But for crying out loud, I'm just like, no, I get hassled here in Korea and judged like, why don't you do, why don't you like do this and that? I'm like, no, heck no. I'm going to do what I need to do that makes me happy here. Yep, and not one of them ever had a job and even makes enough to pay back their government loans for you. But none of them has ever had a job in the field they went into uni for years. Yeah, exactly. So going to the, university doesn't make you successful, It's crazy. Mr. Ron, my neighbor here have extension stay, but he said that's not visa. That's why I get confused of what he said. Yeah, so, yeah, and remember, and then, of course, for expats, we can stay in Philippines for 3 years. Then we have to go, screw off for 24 hours. So, yeah. Yeah, I was going to go see the Winter Games in 80, the Olympic Games in 80, but the war broke out. So, yeah. So, 88. Yeah, that's what put Korea on the map. Seoul Olympics is what put Korea to where it is. So, yeah. Where would they ask you about wearing a suit? Like, like if I was working at an office or something like that. And of course, and a lot of this happened in America, because I'm dealing with Koreans that haven't been back to Korea from the 70s or 80s, the ajishis. If you work here, you're going to wear a young bulk. I'm like, no, I'm not. He goes, and what I try to do is make him fire me, and he wouldn't fire me, so I just wear my dress shirt and my khaki pants, because they wanted me to like, storm out and get mad and quit, and I'm just like, no, fire me, go ahead, fire me, just do it. So if you say I'm fired, then okay, I'll go. So no, but I dealt with a lot of that crap growing up. So with the Korean thing, yeah. With like the discipline, that it looks funny, and it's kind of funny now thinking about it. Like put your hands up. The way they discipline old school in Korea, put your hands out, hit you with the ruler. Yeah. Now that stuff has stopped. You can't even do that crap. I mean, it's got to the point where I kind of get away with it. Like some of the teachers I deal with. They like tap them on the head and they got crap for that. Where I take Mr. Dino and I do this to my student at the academy. He goes, teacher, stop hitting me. I'm not hitting you. Dino is hitting you. Tell him to stop. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'm confused too. Yeah, that thing gets confused. Okay, do you know a person with a PhD? Do you want fries with that? Yep. Yep, because sometimes you can't even get a uni job these days in America, even with a PhD. Jeez, you're adjunct. Yep. Okay, talking about clothes, taking my daughter shopping for a trip. What would she be expected to wear as a teacher for Epic? Okay, just basic. Here's a thing. Okay, especially for women. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's very frowned upon if they show a lot of shoulders and cleavage. I'm just going to tell you that right now. But it's not a frown upon if her dress is really short in Korea. So it boggles my mind. But just keep the casual professional. Yeah, she doesn't need to dress like a Korean person, like I mentioned. Just casual dress shirt, professional enough. So, yeah, because she still has to sell herself as the foreigner, just the decent casual, not overdressed. So, yeah. Yep, and that tells you that you are uneducated, shouldn't have an opinion. Geez, yeah. Annoying. Yeah, just take her to the most expensive shop you can think of. So, yeah. She'll need to 80% of budget and probably 60% just to dress up. Yeah. But she'll be fine. Oh, but remember, it gets really cold, Jeffrey. So she should still get one heavy coat because it's cold as heck. Yeah. Yeah, like late October, November comes around, she's gonna be freezing, especially where she's gonna be at. Yeah, every academic class seems like a Sal Alinsky discussion. I taught vocational education, getting people jobs. We were hated by the academics. Yeah, I bet. So yeah. So okay. So yep, and hopefully, yeah, I covered everything. And Jeffrey, if I forget anything, I'll let you know. If you have more questions, Jeffrey, still message me. So hopefully I covered everything. I'm trying to always remember everything. I think about this late at night sometimes. I don't know why. It's kind of fun. But yeah. But I think that $4 all you can eat is calling me. Oh my goodness. I did not even touch my coffee. Wow. Oh yeah, she could still have pants too. Yeah. Because yeah, I don't think she wants to be wearing a skirt or dress when it's freezing out cold during the winter. So yeah. So she'll be fine. Yeah, just casual professional, like, dress shirt, khakis or something, or, So, yep. And being fictitious, Korean women dress really fine. Yeah. Yeah, stupid stuff like shorts and dresses back early 70s. But yeah, that's just, yeah, they in Korea, they really, like frown upon up here, but not down there, where sometimes I could see like the girl's skirt is so short, I could see everything. I'm like, dude, girl, come on. Yeah, so thanks. Yeah. Yep, I added some water. It was a little sweet, so yeah. All right, I'll go a few more minutes. And if there's any more last minute questions about anything housing, or just anything of what we cover, So, okay, well, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to film a video today, edit it today, and hopefully have it premiered tomorrow. This could be something cool if I can do it on time. So I'm going to have my work cut out. So, and then live stream, I'm going to go back on Monday again. So I will try to schedule it out at least 24 hours in advance so you guys know. And then, of course, I don't want to try to, do it at the same time with Gio or Paul. So at least, you guys can can watch them and then come over, because plus I like to still help them moderate, so we can all flow into each other's stream that way. So yeah, so that's what my plan is, and then I'll let you know about the move if I actually make the move or the done deal. So hopefully Monday I'll know a little bit more if I'm gonna be moving or having a done deal there. So yeah, yep, and the food is calling. And Jeffrey, yep, have a good day. Thanks for your help. Yeah, no problem, Jeffrey. All right, well, it's food time. And so for everyone, thank you for coming to this stream and hanging out. And wherever you are, stay safe. And I will see you again. So goodbye.